When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit.
For real. I better be quiet.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, don't.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room.
Tensions reached a boiling point when Gervonta "Tank" Davis stormed into the press conference, unleashing a raw and unfiltered warning to Lamont Roach, shouting, he's going to end Lamont in front of a stunned audience. The atmosphere was electric, charged with emotion, history, and a sense of unfinished business. As the two locked eyes, the tension was palpable, with cameras flashing and fans holding their breath. Davis made it clear he wasn't there just to talk. He was there to send a message. What followed was a fiery verbal exchange that ignited the boxing world and set the stage for a rematch fueled by pride, rivalry, and vengeance.
What's good, guys? Red Corner Boxing here. So the Ring magazine has today confirmed that Gervonta "Tank" Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. 2 will take place on August 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a great fight. We need to see it again. Who wins it and how, lads? Let us know here on Red Corner Boxing.
Promoter Gary Jonas shed some light on the negotiations for the rematch. While he didn't give too many details, Jonas did say that the second bout between Davis and Roach Jr. is all but finalized. Let's hear what he got to say right now.
Important question on everyone's mind. How close is the rematch? How big will it be? How close is it to getting done?
Very close. It's in my mind, it's a done deal, but there are formalities, but it's a done deal, and it's not far off.
Originally set for June 21st, 2025 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, the rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. was postponed due to a combination of issues. Chief among them was Davis's request for more time to train, believing he needed additional preparation to be fully ready. Financial complications involving Premier Boxing Champions, the event's promoter, also played a role in the delay. As a result, the bout was rescheduled for August 16, 2025, with Las Vegas still hosting. The fight remains highly anticipated, especially following the controversial draw in their first meeting.
How you think one coming up with
I
Tank
hope he
and
don't
Roach?
fight Lamont, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just gonna look bad on the fight with me. So it's gonna look like somebody else already did it. I
You want Tank to knock you out, yo?
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I heard him say, like, yo, I want to fight Tank, and that's nice, but why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
Look, that sound good. That sound real good, but she's too little.
Too little.
I promise you he's too little.
Lamont is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
Y'all can't play so many head games. It's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off. And then sign the contract, like, all right, we got to fight when? June. Oh, shit! Let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks, and he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama, which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
Their first encounter on March 1st, 2025 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn ended in a highly debated majority draw. One judge scored it 115-113 in Davis's favor, while the other two scored it even at 114-114. A controversial moment in the 9th round added fuel to the debate. Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach, but the referee did not call it a knockdown. The decision sparked heated discussion among fans and analysts alike.
For me, Tank Davis is fighting a minus 1,600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
Davis later attributed his underwhelming performance to several distractions, including irritation caused by hair products affecting his vision. He also cited the absence of ring girls as something that threw off his focus. Despite these issues, Davis took accountability, admitting, "I could have definitely done more. That's my fault."
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
Some critics believe Davis intentionally went down in the 9th round to break Roach's rhythm and regain control. By voluntarily taking a knee, Davis may have been buying a few extra seconds to recover rather than risk being overwhelmed. Many see this as a veteran move, an experienced fighter's tactic to disrupt momentum and shift the tide of the bout.
And to go ahead and keep it real with y'all, I think that knee that Tank took was because Lamont Roach was in a rhythm and Gervonta Davis tried to throw this man off a rhythm. Do I believe the Murray's sport waves, the soul glow was in his eye? Absolutely not. I believe that man Tank got nerve-eye and said, hold on, this man Lamont Roach is cooking. I need to take me a quick timeout and a quick break. It's nasty, it's horrible, it's disgusting. It's bad enough how hard and difficult it is to beat this man. Most fighters is weight drained, most fighters has clauses on them. So when somebody who's coming up is able to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis, you handicap the man with trash rulings.
Davis later explained that the incident stemmed from a hair treatment he received 2 days before the fight. He said the grease from the product mixed with sweat, causing a burning sensation in his eyes mid-fight. Addressing boos from the crowd. In the post-fight interview, Davis voiced his frustration, insisting that his actions were an honest response to discomfort, not an attempt to manipulate the outcome.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that. Or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
His explanation has sparked mixed reactions. Some fans and analysts questioned whether the moment should have been scored a knockdown. The controversy has grown further as the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, officially launched a review into the fight's outcome. According to Boxing Kingdom, technical delays prevented an immediate investigation into the 9th round incident, with many arguing that the knee should have counted against Davis, potentially changing the fight's result.
Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won.
In the aftermath of the controversial draw, Roach's team filed an appeal with the Athletic Commission to overturn the decision. The appeal focused on the pivotal 9th round incident where Davis took a knee following a jab from Roach. Referee Steve Willis began a count, but stopped at 3, allowing Davis to return to his corner, where his trainer assisted him, an action against boxing protocol. Davis later claimed the issue was caused by hair grease affecting his vision.
It ain't no timeouts in boxing. Why are you taking? You know that. You should know that. So that's the thing where I'm confused, because that's supposed to be a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round. If that's a 10-8 round, I win the fight. So You know what I'm saying? Like that draw turned into a 114 my way.
Going in, okay, it's round 10, right? You see that you down on the scorecard.
George Kambosos Jr. didn't mince words in criticizing Davis after the controversial draw. He praised Roach's sharp performance, noting his skill, toughness, and ability to push Davis, something few have managed. Kambosos raised serious questions about Davis's readiness for elite-level opponents. The 9th round controversy, where Davis took a knee without being docked a knockdown, only intensified the debate, with many in the boxing world feeling Roach deserved the victory.
Make it that fight on the weekend, what'd you make of the controversy in that one?
Look, I had just finished my recovery session, so I was pretty docile and relaxed, and then the fight, especially at the start of it, wasn't too thrilling and too action-packed, so I was starting to doze off a little bit, but I woke up a little bit more when obviously Lamont started giving him some work, and he looked good, man. I got to give respect to Lamont Roach. He proved a lot of guys wrong. I think he shocked Tank a lot with what he was able to bring. And again, we saw the controversy with the knee. To me, that's a knockdown. You can't just take a knee and decide to, go to your corner and get your face wiped. So, yeah, if that's a 10-8 round, Lamont wins the fight. So it's, unfortunate, but that's the fight game, hopefully they'll do it again and he gets paid, what he's worth.
Have you ever seen anything like that in boxing before? A guy sort of just voluntarily...
We've seen Floyd take a knee and be put on the count. We've seen Miguel Cotto.
Jake Paul has also chimed in, revealing that if Davis wins his rematch against Roach, talks will resume for a potential exhibition bout between the two. Despite a major weight gap, Paul fights at cruiserweight, 195 lbs, and Davis at lightweight, 135 lbs. The proposed fight would be a 10-round exhibition. Talks were initially underway, but paused after Davis's draw. If both fighters win their next matches, the bout could happen later this year. Davis is leaving no stone unturned for the rematch, now training with renowned coach Kenny Ellis. Known for his intensity and technical focus, Ellis is helping Tank tighten his game, aiming to eliminate past mistakes. He'll also be in Davis's corner on fight night to ensure strategic adjustments are made in real time.
But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
How real, or what was to it with you and Tank actually being the thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
Reuniting with longtime mentor Coach Calvin Ford has also brought a powerful emotional lift to Davis's camp. Their relationship runs deep, built on years of trust and a shared journey. Ford has played a critical role in Davis's evolution, transforming raw potential into championship form. Every major win in Tank's career has had Coach Calvin behind the curtain, guiding him through the fire.
Who's doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is, we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to, that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing. And the fight is going to be similar, but hey, the fight at the same time is going to be very different. Now, I just happen to have a very good friend named Phoenix the Assassin who breaks down fights for me. He's a trainer, got a world-class eye for fights. And what he speculated should be the difference between the first fight and the second fight for Gervonta is that Gervonta is going to need to spend a lot more time fighting on the outside and scoring points for a longer period of time on the outside, and then making Lamont Roach to try to initiate something with slower hands, score his points, and get out. And he said the reason that he believes that Lamont Roach would be able to do that.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley expressed doubt about Roach's chances even before their first bout. He emphasized Davis's unique blend of skill, slick southpaw technique, smart footwork, and a killer instinct. Lampley compared Davis's knockout power to a young Mike Tyson, suggesting Roach, while talented, would have difficulty withstanding Davis's ferocity.
All right, Sean Zattel here with the legendary Jim Lampley, PPV.com, and called a controversial draw tonight. The crowd inside Barclays, they did not like it. What did you think of the verdict, Jim? Was it the right call?
An upset draw is always a mixed bag for fans, for people in the sport, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots.
Roberto Diaz, Lamont Roach Jr.'s advisor, acknowledged the steep challenge Davis poses, calling him one of the best in the sport. But Diaz remains confident in Roach's ability. He highlighted Roach's rich amateur background and the improvements he's made since their first encounter. Diaz believes that familiarity with Davis and Roach's growth as a fighter could be key advantages in the rematch.
For their accessible true school sports. Let's go, baby. Wow.
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. All right, Brennan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with Roberto Diaz. Roberto, good to see you as always.
Likewise, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. You're part of Lamont Roach's camp. Well, what's your official role for Lamont Roach?
I'm an advisor for him.
Okay, so you guide him on how to make certain decisions?
Correct.
Okay.
We've been together for many years since his pro debut back in the days at Golden Boy. And after we both parted ways, we hooked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting because, you know, now that you guys are not with Golden Boy, you're still together. So
absolutely,
you guys must have had a good relationship when you were at Golden Boy.
Always had a good relationship with him and his father. And obviously I'm honored and just, you know, honored to be a part of him. And when I got the call to continue working with him, it was a no-brainer for me.
Okay. A lot of the boxing media and the boxing fans are overlooking Lamont Roach, and they're angry that Tank isn't getting fights against Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, these kind of guys. But what can you, from someone that's been with him from the beginning, what can you say about the talent level of Lamont Roach?
I don't blame the fans, but it's a little bit of the unknown for them. It's a little bit of they don't know who he is. On Saturday night, they're going to know who he is. They're going to respect him, and they're going to become fans. Mm-hmm. One thing about Lamont is he fought all the styles. The kid has the talent. The kid has the want, but he's never had the opportunity to be on this type of stage. Mm-hmm. Now it is. Now it's on him. He's put in the work. The talent's there. The hunger's there. He knows what a win means. And here's where it's important. The fans are okay not to know because until they are introduced, like they know who Shakur is. They know who these other guys is. They'll know on Saturday. But most importantly, Tank knows what he's facing because he brought in two of the best trainers in boxing. Not one, but two, because he knows what he has in front of him. Aside.
Roberto Diaz, Lamont Roach Jr.'s advisor, acknowledged the steep challenge Davis poses, calling him one of the best in the sport. But Diaz remains confident in Roach's ability. He highlighted Roach's rich amateur background and the improvements he's made since their first encounter. Diaz believes that familiarity with Davis and Roach's growth as a fighter could be key advantages in the rematch.
Do you feel like that fight with Tank, the rematch with Roach, is bigger than perhaps Shakur Stevenson fight now?
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me why.
Yeah,
Tell me.
he got in the ring. He got in the ring with Tank with no hesitation.
Okay.
For the hell of a fight, you know. Everybody want to see it again, and Shakur's last 3 fights, they criticized him, you know, because of his style of fight. No offense to him, but this is just the reality. People criticize him because of the way he fight, you know, and they don't want to see that. They rather see Roach again, you know.